A coaching change is coming for the football program. We take a look into the resignation of Ray Bowes.
And later, a prestigious award is given to a high school teacher. We get the full story on how it was received.
These stories and much more on Channel 7 News.
Good morning, I'm Sarah Bailey.
And I'm Dakota Morgan. As you can see, we have a brand new set. It is absolutely beautiful, and Mr. Hill's residential carpentry class spent several class periods designing, building, and painting it. We owe Mr. Hill and his class many thanks for their efforts as we continue to improve Channel 7 and hope to make it bigger and better than before.
Now to the news. Right before Christmas break, a head football coach, Ray Bowes, resigned from his position after struggling through a 1-8 season. Dakota has a story on the current and future state of the football program.
Recently, high school math teacher Ray Bowes resigned as head football coach for the Rose Hill Rockets. In a message sent to players on the team, Bowes stated that he had met with athletic director Jim Lynott, who has in fact accepted his letter of resignation. At this time, Bowes has declined to comment on his resignation, stating that it would be more comfortable for him commenting when he knows where he'll be and what he'll be doing next year. We also spoke to Lynott himself, who stated that there was no teaching position necessarily attached to the position of head coach. When asked, Lynott also declined to comment on the candidates for the new head coach, though he did confirm that there are several candidates.
A lot of it's a time investment. I mean, there's big time investment from a football standpoint on, 7 days a week, summers, all of that. During that, to have that opportunity and to work to be successful, you got to invest a ton of time in football. I know that there's been some issues community support-wise for him, and the situation on our record over the years and things like that he's taken some heat over that. I think he's done a wonderful job of those kids have become respectful. They've been kids that have worked hard, kids that are trying to be successful, kids that are competing in games. I mean, from that standpoint, I think he's doing a great job on that. It just hasn't turned out to be wins at some points, and that's due to injuries, due to a lot of other circumstances that sometimes people don't understand. Basically, you open up that supplemental position, and then you take applicants on that, and then we'll see what teaching positions we have available at the same time. It's about hiring. Unfortunately, in this day and age, that's taking the teaching job as your major pay, and coaching is just a supplemental, so it doesn't pay enough for you to survive on for dang sure. Yeah, we have Rule 10 coaches. I mean, it's pretty much an impossibility in this situation to be a Rule 10 and be that head coach in some ways, because not being in the building, not having an association, there's a lot of things that go on, from scheduling transportation to changing locker rooms to all those situations, uniforms that have to be ready, the gear that has to be packed, all of those things. It's pretty tough on the football side to not be in the building or not be a teacher.
Dakota Morgan, Channel 7 News.
Rachel Villarreal, one of the band teachers at Rose Hill High School, was recently given a prestigious award by the state of Kansas that recognizes excellence for a first-year teacher in the state. AJ Taylor has more.
Recently, Ms. Villarreal, a band teacher at Rose Hill High School, was the recipient of the Kansas Horizon Award.
The Horizon Award is given by the State Department of Education, and it recognizes 32 outstanding, exemplary first-year teachers, so teachers who have completed 1 year of teaching. They pick 16 candidates at the K through 5 level, and then they pick 16 more candidates at the 6 through 12 level. And each congressional district in Kansas gets 4 from each category. So in our region, I was one of the 4 selected at the 6 through 12 level.
When Miss Villarreal found out that she won the award, Villarreal was teaching her 5th grade class in the intermediate school.
I was at the intermediate school teaching 5th grade band, so we were working with our itty bitty kiddos, and Mr. Collier, the principal down there, pulled me out of class. I was a little nervous, but I got a phone call from the Commissioner of Education, which is pretty cool that he would take the time to give that time and give that phone call individually. I was not aware that anything like this existed until Mrs. Walker at the middle school kind of tipped me off to it and said, hey, we'd like to nominate you for this. And then when I got it, I was kind of even more surprised, because you go through your everyday and you see all the highs and the lows, and you think, oh, well, that didn't go so well, this was, better or worse, and all those things you can tally up, but not everyone else necessarily sees. So it's pretty cool when people pull more of the good out than maybe you do on your own sometimes. Well, this is my second 1.5, so I have really learned to interact well with the students and to kind of meet them where they are and make adjustments on the fly. You learn a lot of stuff in college, you learn a lot of the content, you learn a lot of the theories and stuff, but it's different when you get in here and you have to work with real humans. So that's been really cool to get to know these kids. There are some really great kids here, 5th grade all the way up through the seniors up here, and it's been really enjoyable to mold those practices around the living.
Reagan Evans, a member of the high school band, gave us her thoughts on having Miss Villarreal as a teacher. Evans went on to talk about the fun, safe atmosphere that Miss Villarreal brings to the classroom.
Miss V is really relatable to her students. She likes to make it fun, like class time fun, and she likes to have fun stories and stuff like that. She's very nice, and she's very understanding about other things that happen in life and stuff like that, and she's someone I can go to and talk to.
AJ Taylor, Channel 7 News.
It was a beautiful Monday evening when Mayor-elect Steve Huckabee was sworn in as mayor of Rose Hill. In addition to the swearing in of Huckabee, there were also 2 new council members sworn in. Including Rochelle Wright and Gary Weaver, the new city council marks brand new beginnings for Rose Hill. As the city ventures into the future, the new regime members had their first council meeting on Tuesday, January 16th. Going forward, Channel 7 will be airing every city council meeting Wednesday evenings. They will also be posted to our YouTube page.
More extraordinary news about change. Our mentor guide, Matthew Browning, is having a beautiful baby boy soon, and we'd like to congratulate him on that. In addition, coming up next, flipping pancakes has become a way of life for a local entrepreneur. We have this backstory on Chris Cakes coming up.
And later, Skylar sits down with wrestling coach Darren Escherman. Stay with us. Market for an event caterer who brings attitude to their cooking, Chris Cakes may be just the service you're looking for.
That's right. Chris Cakes has been around since 1969, starting out in Kansas City, but now has pancake flippers all over the country. Recently, Channel 7 News met with the owner of Chris Cakes. Sarah has the story.
Kathy Xenis is the owner and head flipper of Chris Cakes of Wichita, a mobile catering company that brings pancakes and joy all around the Wichita area. Her company is a part of a larger company that has locations all across the United States. The catering service was featured in a 2008 episode of the Food Network show Unwrapped. Recently, Channel 7 News spoke to Xenis about the work that she's done flipping pancakes.
Flip pancakes. My flipping name is Short Stack.
In need of money to put herself through nursing school, Exenis contacted the owner of Chris Cakes looking for work.
I told him that I could do the pancakes, if he wanted me to. And I didn't hear anything from him from about 3 months. And then at 10 o'clock on a Friday night, he called me up and he said, "Hey, do you still want to flip pancakes?" I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay, I got a feed for you in the morning." I said, "I don't know how to hook up a propane tank. I don't know how to cook pancakes." And he said, "Oh, it's just a bunch of farmers up in Maryville. They just want to eat and get back in the field, nothing fancy." So my husband and I stayed up most of the night, and he taught me how to flip a pot holder across the room with a spatula and wrote down everything that I needed to do. And I went up and did it and kind of got hooked into it. So I went ahead and got my RN degree and worked as a nurse and flipped pancakes. So I was a flipping nurse. And then we branched out into other menus as well. So.
Exenis told us about a time when her team traveled to Ground Zero after the 9/11 attacks to support families who were affected at this time.
Everybody in the nation wanted to help, and none of us knew what to do. I mean, we're back in Kansas, we don't know what to do. He said, "Let's see if we can go." He said, "We'll take 2 other guys with us that have no food experience, of course, and we'll run the food tent the week of Thanksgiving." And I said, "That'd be awesome because the people that run it can be off with their families because they've been working pretty much nonstop." And so when we made the contacts and stuff, they didn't know us out there. They were scared of us, because they'd had a major catastrophe. And they were like, "Well, we're using the restaurant so that they can stay in business." And we said, "Give them the money. We'll come out. We've got 10,000 meals donated. We'll come out and we'll take care of it." Well, they said, "Well, what we need you to open homeless shelters." We said, "How many people?" And they said, "Oh, probably 30 or so." So we took 36 of our friends out cross country to Ground Zero. At night, we opened up homeless shelters. So the homeless people, many were ones that weren't homeless before 9/11, but they had lost everything, their income, so then they got kicked out of their apartments.
Exenis went on to tell us about her experiences at Ground Zero. Delivering food and cheering up the crowd in unique ways has been their goal since 1969.
I get paid to throw food at people and insult them, and so that's the funnest part of the job.
Sarah Bailey, Channel 7 News. Every year, Century 2 in Wichita hosts DramaCon, and this year's reporter, Aislinn Robert, took part in the 2-day conference. Aislinn, over to you.
Thanks, Sarah. On January 4th, the 46th Annual Kansas Thespians Festival was held at the Century 2 Performing Arts Center in Wichita. The festival attracts more than 1,000 high school students each year from schools across Kansas. This year, along with Dakota, I attended the festival, which proved to be a weekend full of fun and abundant learning experiences.
The festival, more commonly known as DramaCon, is a 3-day event consisting of nearly 300 workshops and classes students can take. We spoke to senior Alyssa Gall from DramaCon Troop 88. Alyssa told us this was her 4th year attending DramaCon and went on to share her love for the event.
It's such a relaxing and great environment to learn about theater and enjoy theater.
This year, the Rose Hill Drama Club was among the drama troops in attendance. Drama director Mark Blauser has been attending the festival since 2010. His favorite part of DramaCon is watching live stage shows put on by high school students across Kansas. He went on to tell us about the wide assortment of workshops available for students at the festival.
Favorite part of DramaCon is watching live stage shows and just seeing what other schools and what other talent is out there in the state of Kansas. Workshops are varied depending on what students are interested in and sponsors, directors are interested in. There's anything from improv acting to for students who are interested in applying to colleges. There's acting scholarships and live auditions, things like that they can go to. Anything from wardrobe to makeup to costume to playwriting, scripts, a little bit of everything, even saber fighting or dancing, salsa, if you're interested in that.
The festival ended with an awards ceremony honoring the performances put on during the conference. Aislinn Robert, Channel 7 News.
This year set the highest record for the attendance of any DramaCon. It was a great experience and I'm glad I went. Sarah and Dakota, back to you.
Thanks, Aislinn. Coming up next, is there a warm-up in our future? Charlie has your weather after the break.
And later, Skylar has your winter sports update. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Charlie Conroy, and here is your week weather. For our Wichita current conditions, the high right now is 28 degrees, but after 9 o'clock a.m., the temperatures will rise, and at 5 p.m., we will reach the peak of the day at 46 degrees. Right now, the wind is blowing at 12 miles per hour, but the wind will come down to 9 miles per hour by 3 o'clock p.m. And at Channel 7, we still want you to be cautious of icy spots on the road. For statewide current conditions, temperatures are on the rise this week, but today we currently have a temperature of 27 degrees. The high for today will be around 48 degrees and the low around 27 degrees. Because we are airing on Wednesday this week, we do not have Monday for our 5-day forecast. For the 5-day week forecast, Tuesday a high of 48 and a low of 27, Wednesday a high of 53 and a low of 33, Thursday a high of 57 and a low of 39, Friday a high of 57 and a low of 27, and finally Saturday with a high of 52 and a low of 28. Next is our sit down with Coach Eshelman. Stay with us.
Welcome back. I'm here sitting down with Darren Eshelman, the wrestling head coach. Thank you for sitting with us.
You bet, my pleasure.
So, It's my understanding that the wrestling team is making significant strides in the right direction for a really good season. What are your thoughts, and are you excited about this?
We've been waiting for this season for quite a while. This is the 4th year I've been able to work with the wrestlers here, and we've been putting in a lot of work the past 4 years, and kind of all pointing toward this season when we knew that we was going to have a good senior class, a good junior class, and we really felt this was the year we could have a lot of success in the state of Kansas with wrestling. So we've had the goal for a long time that we wanted our team to finish in the top 10 in the state this year, and which would be a great improvement from what we've done in the past few years. So they got a lot of excitement. We're getting down to about the final last month and a half of the season, so this is when everything is going to hopefully take shape for us. And so yeah, the kids are working hard, and we're really looking forward to February.
Okay. So there's a lot of young talent that's joined the team. Are you excited about it, and thoughts on this?
You bet. Wrestling is a sport where it's very difficult.
I'm here to
just,
sit down with
start 1 year
wrestling
and
head
be good.
coach Darren Esselman.
There's a lot to learn as far as the moves and techniques go. So it takes some time to become a good wrestler, and as such, really the key ingredient to a successful high school program is a successful junior kids program. And the past few years, we've had a great program of little kids wrestling that wrestle here and then at the Punisher facility downtown. So we're in a process of getting little by little kids coming in from that program. We have the program we have for our junior kids called the Punishers, South Central Punishers Wrestling Club. They do a great job. They're one of the top programs in the state. They might actually finish first in the state this year. I'd say about 75% of their team is probably 10 and under. So we're still only getting a few guys in each year, but eventually we'll be getting a lot of wrestlers each year from their program, and quite frankly, that's really what's going to help make us be a very successful program here at the high school. So we've had a few guys and a girl come in recently they're not seniors, underclassmen. Annika Besko is the defending girls state champion. We've got Charlie Black, a freshman who's making an impact. Kyle Sackett, David Leck, Grant Shear have all made big impacts and have great records on our wrestling team, and they're all underclassmen.
So who would you describe as some of the young talent that's on the team this year?
I'd say the only freshman we have that's been varsity from day one has been Charlie Black. But we've got several other kids. If I start mentioning names, I'll probably forget somebody and feel very bad about that. But so I'd say just he's kind of the one that's been with us on varsity this year that's a freshman.
Really stuck out.
Yeah.
And who would you say some of the seniors that have taken an extra lead this year, helping the underclassmen figure out the team, being able to understand the process, and also helping the new recruits that are on the team?
You bet. We're really blessed this year because we have a good senior class. In fact, it's the first time in the past few years we've had a senior class. The last 3 years we've had maybe 1 or 2 seniors out for the team, so it's been tough to get that senior leadership. But this year, finally, it's all came together. We got a great group of senior leaders. Not only are they successful wrestlers, but they're hard workers and good role models, and they've really been guiding the team this year. We've got Chase Thrush, Luke Culberson, Ben Black, Matt Atkinson. These guys have all just performed at a very high level. We have a new senior out, Tanner Sawyer's his first year. He's had a great attitude and been working really hard. And they provide the leadership that just really doesn't come around from underclassmen. It just comes from being that 4th year senior. So we've been very appreciative of the help they've been giving us.
Okay, so it's my understanding that you started your coaching career here in Rose Hill for the wrestling team, and then you moved to Bishop Carroll, but later came back.
Yeah.
Why is that, and how would you compare the wrestling team and the program overall from Rose Hill then to Rose Hill now, but also compared to Bishop Carroll?
Yeah, spent several years coaching here, 15 years in fact, before I left for Bishop Carroll, and had the blessing of coaching with Coach Woolen and learned a lot from him. And we were a program on the rise, I think, back then in the 90s, And then in the 2000s, again, you know, being very thankful for the junior kids programs we had then. They led us to several top 10 finishes in the state and second and third finish in the state. Went to Bishop Carroll, which had a lot of talent to start with, and they were just kind of reckless and undisciplined in some ways as far as the wrestlers were. So we tried to bring a good work ethic and some discipline into the program, and they did amazing things there, the wrestlers. Coming back here, we're working on the program, and it is a rising program as well. I think we've had a few down years here. We haven't, like I said, we haven't had a lot of upperclassmen, so and that's kind of affected us. Haven't had good numbers coming in from the junior kids program, which happens. It goes in waves. But now we're kind of getting that senior leadership, and we've got some kids coming in with some experience, and that's one of the reasons we're having some more success this year.
All right, thank you.
You bet.
And after the break, I come back with your winter sports highlights.
A lot has been going on within your Rocket sports community since we've been back from Christmas break. The varsity boys basketball team has an overall record of 8-4 and has 3 wins out of the last 6 games, beating Clearwater on January 2nd. They played in the Rupp Invitational where they placed 5th. They also play Andover Central tonight. The varsity girls basketball team has an overall record of 5-4 and they have won 2 out of the last 3 games. They also played Andover Central Friday and won with a final score of 59-56. They play the Haven Invitational against Garden Plain Thursday. On the wrestling front, the wrestling team placed 3rd in both the Augusta and Clearwater Invitationals. They also took 2nd at the Eureka Invitational. Up next is a tournament at the Andover Invitational Saturday. And the boys swimming, the 200 free relay team cut 3 seconds off the time at Wichita Heights and are now being considered for state. The same goes for the 200 medley relay as well as Braden Bishler in the breaststroke. They're at Wichita Northwest this Saturday. Sarah and Dakota, back to you.
Thanks, Skylar. Last week, 2017 Rose Hill High School graduate Madison Futhy tragically passed away. On behalf of Channel 7 News, we would to extend our deepest condolences to the Buthe family. Our hearts also go out to the 2017 graduates, as well as those currently at Rose Hill High School who are close to Madison. Madison, you will be missed.
That's all the time we have today. I'm Dakota Morgan.
And I'm Sarah Bailey. Thank you for watching Channel 7 News. See you next time.